Heights is Universal 144. So, I've already done pretty much most of the zodiac signs that I know like the back of my hand. Okay, when it comes to the season for them. So you don't have to be the actual sun sign, star sign, element within that season in order to be picking up on the information slash the reality of that zodiac during that period of time. Okay. One of the ways that you can look at this, because I've already done Cancer last year, okay, but that was in 2021, right? So we're in 2022. So every universal year is a different number harmonic, okay? So I might go back to doing this just when I feel like I want to, right? When I feel it's important for the collective to know this. So this is just going to be Cancer season. You don't have to be a Cancer sun sign. You could have Cancer somewhere else in your chart highly aspected, whether it's your sun, moon, rising, Venus, North Node, okay? Really doesn't matter. And everybody has every single zodiac in their chart, whether they know it or not, okay? Won't get into the whole speech and spiel about it. Most people know this, especially if you're watching me. And there's been plenty of times where I just don't talk about astrology, really, because a lot of it is not, that you hear, is not even true. The way that I know astrology is through trial and error, okay? Been in medical my whole life since I was 17. I'm 34 right now, okay? And what do we have on a medical chart? We have everybody's date of birth and location, okay? Hospitals have like location and stuff. Clinics and other stuff, it's harder to find the location, but the person will tell you where they're born. And this is where I started with astrology. So when I was 12, I listened to a program on Coast to Coast. Here's the backstory. This is how I really know what I know, okay? And I listened to this astrologer on Coast to Coast, and I was like, no, that's not right. That's not Aries, because I'm an Aries. I'm like, that's not me. I don't freaking, that's not my traits. And people do get programmed from astrologers that are renowned, that are full of fake news, okay? Just because they say you're positive and negative traits because of your sun sign doesn't mean that's you at all. Because you got to look at the whole chart, okay? You cannot predict the way somebody's going to behave in a situation, especially when you're in a certain month of a certain season of a certain zodiac, okay? This all comes together also with number harmonics as well. So right now we're in a 7-month, right? But we're in a 6 year. So this is how I come to the conclusion of what I say about the season. So when I upload Cancer season, or if I upload Aries season, if I upload Saggy season, if I upload Leo season, which is next, right? Those are all based off of number harmonics, right? And what I have learned through experience of watching other people in medical and looking them up and what they deal with during that time, okay? So the aspects, and also the degree placement is a big deal, right? If your degree placement of a certain zodiac is low or high, or in the middle, and then you have something highly aspected that trines or conjuncts or this and that is close, and I can't even, listen, most astrologers study for like 30 years just to understand astrology. They really do. They get that deep, okay? It's like going to med school and becoming a freaking doctor, okay? Or becoming specialized for like 10 years. Like, this is like never ending, and it's always changing for people who are medical. You know why? Because we learn new things as we go, okay? We learn about new star systems as well as we go that we never saw before because of technology, okay? So there's that. But the way I know this like the back of my hand, certain people and certain star signs, when I know the degree point, is because I've dealt with so many people in my life. Patients that would like tell me their whole life story, and I got to know over a long period of time. 4 years in the nursing home, okay? A lot of hospital work, a lot of clinical work, and dialysis. And I mean, for 11 years in Kansas City, all I did was study people's crap and take it in from the patient, okay? It's not a HIPAA violation. I was just seeing if this shit was real. And there is something to it. There is something to it. So, there's that. Cancer season. So, we know that true blue Cancer's like, okay, so Cancer's star sign, you're ruled by the moon, which I'm not even going to get into that, being a planet. Okay? I'm not even going to get into that, being a planet. Because it's just... So, what does the moon do? It's the closest to the planet, right? And ebb and flow. So if you don't have an ebb and flow in life as a Cancer sun sign, if you don't have a balance, right? Then you never learn to control your mind. Cancer is a water sign. Okay? It's a water element. For those of you that don't know. So water elements tend to feel deeply, but they don't always express it. I think the least expressive water sign is Scorpio. I know they are, actually, because I've been around a lot of them. And they're the least expressive when it comes to what they're feeling in a situation. They're like the freaking private investigator, okay? And they're really, really good people, and they have a really good routine. Out of all the water signs, Scorpio has the best routine when they're in balance, okay? Pisces and Cancer. Pisces is more intuitive, psychic, right? They just know something before they know it, and then they're shocked when they experience it, and they can become emotional. But if they channel their emotion through art form, the Pisces, they release it, okay? The Cancer zodiac, if they channel their emotions, because they are actually the connector, right, of all people's emotions, they're super easy to be projected on. This is why they always feel like crap when they're in a low vibration, because they absorb everybody's negativity. Because they're a match to it. So if they don't stay high vibe, which is basically learning a routine and sticking to it, and Cancers have the worst time with routine as far as water element goes, okay? People think that Aries fire elements are the worst to routine. No, we just have to always be busy. Aries, fire signs. Like, out of all the fire signs, the Aries has to just always be doing something because we're full of energy, okay? And if we're not doing something and we become stagnant in life, that's how we get screwed up. But the Cancer, okay, the way that the Cancer gets screwed up, and this is important for everybody to know because we're in Cancer season, okay? So this is collective. This is not just based towards a Cancer, okay? Sun sign or sun, moon, rising, this and that. The way the Cancer gets messed up is when they're not in the ebb and flow, which is the tide, right? Ruled by the moon. Ebb and flow of a routine, right? Why do they get out of a routine? Why do they not learn a routine? This is what I'm going to talk about. This might be a long video. Might have to make a part 2. So, most of the reason why this happens is because there's an imbalance within the Cancer's feels. They go off of feeling, okay? I don't know if you guys have ever had a Cancer child, and if you do, great, because it's really cool when, like, they know how to temper themselves emotionally. But if you have a Cancer child that's, like, super off balance, they throw the biggest tantrums. Worse than a Leo, okay? Leo kids, especially girls, are very difficult to deal with because they're like the princess. They're like, I want it now. Like, no. Cancer is like, I feel this now, therefore we're going to talk about this now. That's in a low vibe, right? I feel this negativity, therefore I want to express it. And that's like really bad. Okay. So during Cancer season, if you're completely out of whack, you haven't been sleeping, you don't have this routine, okay, and you start vocalizing things to people when you're in a bad, crabby mood. By the way, Cancers are the crab in the Zodiac. They're crabby as shit. Yeah. Really crabby in a low vibe. And just the worst people to be around in a low vibe. Because they're always just like, and like, just like a little kid. Okay? Because they don't have a routine. They have nothing to put their energy in to release it. They don't know how to process emotion. It's ruled by the moon. It's freaking delusional, right? Because they can be thinking something completely false. They don't really think. That's the problem with them. They feel. Okay? And it's not that there's a problem with that. Because if they were in a high vibe, feeling in a high vibe is actually really positive. They can come into a room and completely change the energy. Just based off their feelings and being a natural counselor. And that's what they do in a high vibe. They're the natural, I wouldn't say medical counselor. Okay? I would say friendship, personal relationship counselor. Because they can feel where everyone is coming from within a crowd. And sometimes that can be bad if they're in a bad vibe. Because they can feel all the negativity coming off the crowd. And it's really just a projection of people's insecurities going to the one Cancer in the room who's highly aspected Cancer, and then they take on the anxiety. They have a lot of anxiety when they're low vibrational, okay? And they'll be like that their whole life if they don't correct it, okay? I'm getting off on a rant. So the less, and also the crab doesn't have any vocal cords. That's very important to know, okay? There's a reason for that. You know, speaking is not their best. Explaining themselves and how they feel, it's not their best. But listening is. So during this season of Cancer, when you're less vocal, it's more beneficial to you when you speak less. Okay. So basically it's like the more that you listen, right, the more that you can develop your intuitive communication feel, right, which is basically just knowing where somebody's coming from without having to say anything. Words get jumbled a little bit during the season if you're constantly trying to explain your feelings. You don't have to explain anything. You know, you just don't. And if you have to explain yourself over and over to somebody, maybe that somebody shouldn't be in your life because that's not healthy. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to sit there and repeat myself a million times to anyone, you know, unless it was a dementia patient. You know, if somebody has dementia or Alzheimer's, you know, okay, I understand. You don't have a brain of memory. But why would you explain yourself to people who are perfectly able to understand you clearly the first time and ask questions and have an actual conversation instead of an argument? Or say, okay, I understand you, and then go do the same thing and be like, okay, apparently you didn't understand me. Let me reiterate. How many times do you have to do that with people? Cancers hate this shit. They're like one of the signs. Aries is actually, I cannot stand to repeat myself. If you can't hear me the first time, I'm just like, no. I have no Cancer in my chart besides, no, I don't. The only water I have in my chart is Scorpio and Pisces. That's it. my moon's in Aquarius. The moon's ruled by Cancer, but it's in an air sign, so I'm more logical and humanitarian. Like, I think for the collective, like, so when you have an Aquarius moon, like, you're super intuitive about people's needs before they speak. They don't need to speak. You just know. It's just like, I can walk into a room, and anybody with a Cancer moon can walk into a room if you're in medical or if you're taking care of somebody or whatever, right? And you know automatically what they want. I was the best with stroke patients who couldn't speak, okay? Because my Aquarius is my moon placement, okay? And so I'd automatically know what somebody wanted, you know, and do it. So, and there would be no issues. And it wouldn't upset the stroke patient because they couldn't speak. You know, it's that type of thing. You know, really pay attention to what your moon is ruled by, because that's basically ruled by Cancer. So there's another thing for that this season. But also, keeping a balanced sleep routine is the most beneficial to a Cancer sun sign. And during Cancer season, we all get tested, no matter if you're not a Cancer. You get tested to overdo it and overextend yourself, okay? And that's not healthy. You need your time to sleep, right? You need your time to recharge, however you do it, right? Ew, I just got an image, that's gross. So there's that. It's super important to shut off, you know, and cut ties with any toxic noun, right? Person, place, or thing. It's so important during this season to do that. You should already be doing it, but it's highly important during this season to do that, because when you overextend yourself to anything that's not reciprocal, you fail. This is not the time of the year to be getting dusted, you know? This is the time we're halfway through here, okay? Like, we're a little bit over halfway through this year. And if you're spent now, you have a long way to go here to achieve whatever you set out to do in this year that is a certain number harmonic. Like, this is the time. And also, I didn't want to talk about this, but I guess I will, because I did write this down. So what people choose to do during Cancer season has a lot to do with suicide prevention, okay? It really does. So I already stated, basically, like, there's a lot of projections that go on during this season. People feel things that are not real. There's delusion, this and that, right? Because it's ruled by the moon. But then at the same time, if you're super logical, you're getting your rest, you have good eating habits, you're in a routine, a structured routine, this is a really good season for you. For anybody. You don't have to be a Cancer. It's just really good, because everybody looks to you for, like, the shoulder to type cry on, or to express themselves to, because you're not going to say anything negative back to them. You're not going to judge them. And Cancers in a very high vibration are the most non-judgmental people you will ever meet. It's getting too long. I'm almost at 20 minutes. I don't know how long this is going to take to upload, so I'm just going to hurry up. Let's see here. So yeah, discernment's a big deal. Most Cancers, they learn this at a young age. If you don't learn this at a young age, discernment, what's yours and what's somebody else's emotions, you pretty much fail at life. You never get anything completed. You come back, repeat, if you believe in that. It's just like a toppling of unsuccess, you know, because you haven't established any healthy routine, and it's like people leech off you and project. There goes the robin. So you never initiate anything in life. You're always in limbo because you're absorbing other people's negative energy, and you think the world's this horrible place, so it gets reflected back in what you do. Okay? Which is, and the sad part about this is, and we all know Cancer is like this, and this can happen. This can start a routine during Cancer season for other people who are not Cancers, right? If you don't have and form a routine, a structure in all aspects of life during this season, let's say like you miss the mark and you just go screw off and let your responsibilities go to the wayside. This is the time most people get in the most debt in their life. And it's so funny because it's wedding season. And people spend outrageous amounts to go get married and then realize like, holy crap, I'm freaking in debt and I just got married and now I'm broke. What do you think that's going to cause? That's not a good start to any union in my mind. You know, why do you care so much about what other people like think about your wedding and this and that? Like, that's between two people and whatever power they believe in. Okay, you don't have to like be a freaking star of the show. This is not fucking prom. Okay, I didn't even go to my prom, by the way. I was already gone. I graduated early. I said, fuck that, I'm not going back. I didn't even go to my graduation. I didn't come back to Alaska. I said no. And then I had all these awards and shit, and everybody's pissed, but it didn't matter to me. Okay, so be in center, like in your center. Sometimes that's important to people. Some people are bougie, whatever. They need to like have this and that to prove that like this is a great thing. And then other people, they don't. So if you don't have the financial means in Cancer season to do something, don't do it. Because you will put yourself in debt. Okay? And it starts that cycle. And then you're always playing catch up. It's a routine. Okay? Spending is emotional. Right? Some people, and substances too, right? So it's like all emotional vice. It's to fill a void for a moment, and then later to find out, oh crap, now I have to do this just to fix that. But then you don't want to do it. And you become the low vibe Cancer. It's like Peter Pan. They never grow up. Worst time. This is the worst time to be foolish and irresponsible. So there's that. Hopefully that resonated. There's a lot more that I was going to say, but this is getting way too long and I don't have time. I have to be up really early. And so, happy Cancer season. There's a lot of positive aspects to Cancer season. You know, like I said, a lot of really positive friendships can blossom during the season. Just make sure that you use your discernment with people. If somebody's all jacked up and, you know, you just know that, like, there's something wrong, you know, with, like, everything, you can love people from a distance. You can support people from a distance, okay? They don't need to be up in your space.com dumping all their problems on you, right? To where you feel emotionally stuck because you're like, oh, I have to help somebody. No, this is not Save-A-Ho season. This is the opposite. And there was something I posted on, I recorded on 4th of July, putting yourself first, the monkey see, monkey do. That's all about Cancer season. Okay, so what you surround yourself, you do become, because you absorb everything quickly. So be careful what you surround yourself with, because you are guilty by association. It will manifest in your life. All right, that's all I have.